Angela had been married to Patrick for 5 years, yet something always felt missing. Patrick was a good husband, responsible, caring, and never short of affection. But in the depths of their bedroom, where passion was supposed to ignite like an unquenchable fire, she felt nothing but emptiness. He was gentle, predictable, and quick to finish, leaving Angela in frustration night after night. At first, she convinced herself that love was more important than passion. She reassured herself that pleasure could be sacrificed for companionship. But no matter how much she tried, a hollow craving gnawed at her soul. Her body yearned for something more, something wild, untamed, and powerful enough to awaken the beast of pleasure inside her. One evening, while doing the dishes, Angela's eyes landed on an empty beer bottle left on the kitchen counter. Its smooth glass surface and sturdy shape stirred something deep within her. A wicked thought crossed her mind, and though she tried to push it away, it kept coming back, stronger and more tempting than before. That night, with Patrick snoring beside her, Angela slipped into the bathroom, her heart pounding like a drum. She locked the door, grabbed the bottle, and hesitantly ran her fingers over its surface. A shiver of anticipation coursed through her veins. She closed her eyes, and for the first time in years, she felt something real. What started as an experiment soon became an obsession. Every night, when Patrick was asleep, she would sneak into the bathroom, or wait until he left for work to indulge herself. The bottle became her secret lover, her guilty pleasure. With it, she felt satisfaction Patrick had never been able to give her. But secrets never stay hidden forever. One fateful evening, Patrick returned home earlier than expected. Angela, thinking she was alone, had locked herself in the bedroom, lost in the throes of forbidden pleasure. She was so consumed by her ecstasy that she didn't hear the front door open. Patrick was about to call out her name when he noticed the bedroom door slightly ajar. He peered inside, and what he saw froze him in place. His wife, lying on their bed, her face twisted in sinful delight, moaning softly as she used a beer bottle in ways he never could have imagined. "Angela?" His voice was a mix of confusion and horror. She jolted upright, her face draining of color as she realized she had been caught. The bottle slipped from her grasp and rolled onto the floor with a dull clink. A heavy silence filled the room as they stared at each other, both struggling to find the right words. Patrick's face contorted with pain. "What the hell is this?" His voice was barely above a whisper, but Angela could hear the devastation in it. Tears filled her eyes. "Patrick, is this what I've been reduced to?" he interrupted, his voice trembling. "A husband so useless that my wife prefers a damn bottle over me?" Angela wrapped herself in a sheet, shame pressing down on her chest like a heavy stone. "It's not like that, Patrick. I love you, but—" She hesitated. "You never satisfy me." His breath hitched. He looked like she had just driven a dagger through his heart. "I thought we were happy." "We are," she whispered, "but I needed more." Patrick staggered back, running a shaky hand through his hair. "How long has this been going on?" Angela lowered her gaze. "A few months." His face twisted in agony. "You could have talked to me. We could have fixed this together. But instead, you turned to that?" He pointed at the bottle with disgust. Angela sobbed, reaching for him. "Patrick, I don't want to lose you. I didn't know how to tell you." He took a step back, his expression unreadable. "I need time to think." As Patrick walked out of the room, Angela felt the weight of her choices crashing down on her. She had risked everything for pleasure, and now she stood on the edge of losing the man she loved. Would he forgive her? Would they ever recover from this betrayal? Or had she just shattered their marriage beyond repair? Only time would tell. That night, Patrick slept on the couch. Angela lay awake in their bedroom, staring at the ceiling, haunted by the disgust in his eyes. The weight of her actions pressed on her chest, suffocating her with regret. She had never intended to hurt him, never wanted to make him feel inadequate. But the truth was out, and there was no taking it back. The next morning, Patrick barely spoke to her. He moved through the house like a ghost, avoiding her eyes. Angela wanted to say something, to reach out and fix what had been broken, but she didn't know where to start. Finally, she whispered, "Patrick, please, talk to me." He set his coffee cup down with a sharp clink and exhaled. "I don't even know what to say, Angela. Every time I look at you, all I see is that bottle." Angela winced. "I never meant to hurt you." Patrick shook his head. "You didn't just hurt me. You humiliated me. Do you have any idea what it feels like to know your wife prefers a piece of glass over her own husband?" Patrick left the house without saying goodbye. Angela spent the day drowning in guilt, pacing the living room, replaying his words over and over. By afternoon, she had made up her mind. If there was any chance of saving her marriage, she had to do something. She grabbed her phone and scheduled an appointment with a marriage therapist. That evening, when Patrick returned home, Angela met him at the door. "I booked a therapy session for us," she said, her voice steady. "Please, Patrick, I don't want to lose you." He studied her, his jaw clenched. "And what exactly do we tell them? That my wife cheats on me with a beer bottle?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "We tell them the truth, that I love you, but there's something missing, and I don't know how to fix it." Patrick exhaled, rubbing his temples. "I don't know if I can do this, Angela, but I'll go. For us." The following day, they sat across from Dr. Abiola, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a soft but firm voice. Angela felt naked under her gaze. "Let's start from the beginning, Doctor," Abiola said. "Angela, can you explain what led to this situation?" Angela swallowed hard. "I love my husband, but I've never felt fulfilled. I kept hoping it would change, but it didn't, and I was too ashamed to talk about it." Patrick's hands balled into fists. "So instead of telling me, you turned to an object?" Dr. Abiola held up a hand. "Patrick, I know you're hurt, but let's try to understand what Angela was feeling." Angela hesitated before speaking. "I was scared, Patrick. I didn't want to make you feel like less of a man, but the frustration kept building, and one day I acted on impulse. It was wrong, but it was never about replacing you. It was about something I couldn't put into words." Patrick sighed, running a hand over his face. "So what do we do now?" Dr. Abiola leaned forward. "Communication and intimacy are two sides of the same coin. You both need to be honest about your needs. Angela, you need to express what you desire. And Patrick, you need to be open to making changes. This isn't just about sex, it's about connection." The sessions were hard. At times, Patrick's anger flared, and Angela's shame made her want to hide. But slowly they began to understand each other. Angela learned to speak up about her desires. Patrick learned that pleasure wasn't just about mechanics, but about paying attention to his wife's needs. One night, Weeks after the confrontation, Patrick reached for Angela in bed. But this time he didn't rush. He explored, listened, and paid attention to the things that made her body respond. For the first time in years, Angela felt seen, felt wanted, felt truly satisfied. As she lay in his arms afterward, she whispered, "Thank you for giving us a chance." Patrick kissed her forehead. "I almost lost you, but I'm glad I didn't." And for the first time in their marriage, they both felt whole. Moral lesson of the story. 1. Communication is key in relationships. Unspoken desires and frustrations can create distance between partners. Honest communication can prevent emotional and physical dissatisfaction. 2. Unaddressed problems lead to destructive choices. Instead of seeking a healthy solution, Angela turned to a harmful habit. Avoiding issues only makes them worse. 3. Trust is fragile and hard to rebuild. Betrayal, even when not involving another person, can deeply wound a relationship. Trust must be nurtured, not taken for granted. 4th, self-control and boundaries matter. Seeking pleasure outside the marriage in inappropriate ways can damage a relationship beyond repair. Healthy boundaries are essential. 5. Healing is possible with effort. Despite the betrayal, Angela and Patrick had a chance to rebuild their love through understanding, therapy, and commitment. 6. Temptation is everywhere, but choices define us. In moments of weakness, people may make regrettable choices. True strength lies in resisting destructive urges and choosing what's right. Final thought. A strong relationship is built on honesty, effort, and respect. Problems should be faced together, not in secrecy. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like and share to your friends and family. Turn on the notification bell for many more amazing stories. Comment down below. What would you do in Patrick's situation? Appreciate your time. See you on my next story.